types of rainfall path will end. Actually, I thought of completing stability and instability, but we'll stop it here. Okay, one more news I need to share with the class is that probably from the next class or probably from the coming week, we might have at least 5 to 6 students would be joining us in the ongoing batch. So that is why I'm taking it very slow so that they can accommodate with us as early as possible. At 5, maybe maximum of 7 students would be joining us. All of them could be in the possibly in the online mode. Okay, so I'll take it very slow here. So types of rainfall, there are 3 important rainfalls. One is convectional rainfall. Rainfall primarily due to convection is known as convectional rainfall. Convectional rainfall whenever obviously the intense heating of land or whenever there is more insulation, heating is high, therefore the warm air would ascend up. Ascending air would happen in the nature of adiabatic rate of cooling. Male ascend ஆகுது warm air இருந்தாலும் கூட மேல போக போக என்ன ஆகும், it will cool down. Cool down ஆனா obviously it would reach the condensation level and clouds are formed. And the clouds would give precipitation or rainfall. So heating of land. Okay, heating of land would give rise to ascending air currents, and the ascending air currents ascend at some point they would cool down and they would reach the condensation level and the clouds are formed and they give in rainfall. This is very common factor where the insolation is maximum, that is in and around your equatorial region. Equatorial region would experience majorly experience convectional type of rainfall. The other one, the next important one is your orographic rainfall. If the GS நீங்க கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க, அதனால I'll take it very simply. The second one is orographic. Okay, so whenever there is a presence of a mountain, whenever there is a presence of a mountain and there is a nearby ocean surface, possibilities are there. The incoming air would be hindered by the mountain and this air is compelled to ascend up. So ascending air, ascending warm or moisture laden wind. Ascending warm air or your moisture laden wind, what would happen? It would condense. ஏன்னா ascend நடக்கும்போது temperature திரும்ப குறையும், எனக்கு condensation நடக்கும். So it would give heavy rainfall along this particular slopes, right? So this rainfall is known as orographic rainfall. Oro means mountain, yeah. So orographic rainfall due to the presence of any mountain barrier or a relief barrier. Sometimes not only because of mountain, even the presence of a higher plateaus with the more elevation, they can also induce rainfall when the wind is hindered or transversed by the presence of a plateau. Such type of rainfall is also known as orographic or generally relief rainfall. Rainfall caused due to the presence of a mountain or any higher order relief. அது plateau இருக்கலாம் இல்ல mountains இருக்கலாம். இந்த மாதிரி இருந்தா அது orographic rainfall. This is nothing but a forced convection. நார்மலா கன்வெக்ஷன் எப்போ நடக்கும், தெர்மல் டிஃபரன்சஸ் இருந்தா தெர்மல் ஹீட்டிங்னால நடக்கும். ஆனா இது ஒரு மாதிரியான ஃபோர்ஸ்ட் ஆர் மெக்கானிக்கல் கன்வெக்ஷன் that leading to rainfall. இதுல ஒரே ஒரு சின்ன கான்செப்ட் என்னன்னா, rainfall, this is my mountain, the region or side of the mountain where the winds are facing, this is known as your windward side. Windward side of the mountain, and the opposite side where the wind descends, and while descending it will heat up, adiabatic heating happens, therefore this is your leeward side. or also known by the name rain shadow region. Why? Because maximum rainfall would be deposited on this margin, and when it dries out and falls on the next slope, on the opposite slope of the mountains, it would have very little moisture, and that moisture would not result in the formation of precipitation. In Kilme, there is a specific line where when the air ascends, the rainfall initially increases. And after a certain point, the clouds or the wind would lose its moisture and the rainfall decreases. Okay, so rainfall, rainfall initially increases, then decreases. So this particular line where the rainfall starts to decrease, this is known as inversion line. Rainfall inversion line. Where it is felt or where it is seen on the windward side of the mountain. Keep on rainfall வந்துட்டே இருக்காது. அப்போ இங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய wind system ascend ஆச்சுனா, forceful ascendance would result in precipitation. Obviously கொஞ்ச தூரம் மழை height கூட கூட மழை அதிகமாயிட்டே போகும். After a certain point, the rainfall also starts to decrease. That is known as your rainfall inversion line. And the other half of the mountain where it does not receive more rainfall is known as the leeward side or the rain shadow region. Okay. And the last type of rainfall. The last type of rainfall is your cyclonic rainfall. Cyclones அடுத்து நமக்கு chapter வரும். So cyclonic rainfall. And this term is primarily used in tropical region. So whenever there is a presence of cyclones in the ocean, tropical cyclones in the ocean, the coastal regions would experience what? The coastal regions would experience rainfall. Right? So such type of rainfalls are known as cyclonic rainfalls, and predominantly they are associated with the tropical latitudes. Whereas in mid-latitudes or your polar regions, the precipitation due to cyclonic activity is known as frontal rainfall. ஏன்னா அங்க எந்த cyclone form ஆகும், அங்க temperate cyclones form ஆகும், temperate latitudesல, which is nothing but the convergence of warm air and cold air. So warm air and so last class we saw or cold air warm air or convergence நடந்தா obviously என்ன நடக்கும், fronts are developed. The boundary between these two air masses is known as fronts, and along the fronts who will ascend? The warm air would ascend. Warm air ascent aanale it would create in what? It would create in the formation of clouds, condensation, and thereby precipitation. So rainfall along the fronts is known as frontal rainfall, and it is a phenomena in your mid-latitude region or temperate region, closely associated with the temperate cyclones. So frontal rainfall or cyclonic rainfall. Why? Tropical cyclonic conditions in tropical region is known as cyclones. Very simple cyclones. Either frontal cyclones. So these are the three important types of rainfall. I'll go through this. Okay, three important types of rainfall. And these are convectional type of rainfall, orographic type of rainfall, and cyclonic rainfall. Three important types.